Okay, so let this serve as an intro to part 7 of the Ford F750 haul truck series. As you can see, this is a rear end out of a truck, and I have alluded to this already in a shop update. So probably some of you that follow my videos know that this was coming. This is a Eaton Spicer rear axle, and why I got it on one of my road trips to haul some stuff and bring some stuff back. I picked it up because it's not a 2-speed rear end like I had originally talked about in my videos on the haul truck, but I found this rear end and it's got the new style hubs on it for the rims. New style rims, not the split rims that are on the truck now, but it's got the new style rims, and it has 390 gears already in it. So what my thought was behind this is I picked it up really cheap, and I had to drive a ways for it, but I still got it cheap. It's a lot cheaper than I could have bought it out of a salvage yard locally. It's a 1-speed rear end, but again, it's got 390 gears in it. So that's exactly what I was looking for, because a lot of the other trucks, like medium duty trucks with this style rear end in it, has gears like the truck. This truck has 550 gears in it, and 550 gears, or that ratio, is not good for a low RPM diesel engine. So 390 gears. So let this serve as the intro, and I will take you into kind of an update on me showing it to you on the trailer, what I got with it, and we'll go from there and do part 7 of the haul truck series. Okay, we're at the back of the truck, and I got back from my little road trip to pick up, deliver something, pick up the new rear axle for the truck, and I also brought a car back from Ohio for somebody. So these, when I went down to get the axle was sold to me, and it had 2 of the rims on one side of it, with 2 bad tires. And after we got the axle loaded onto my trailer and everything, I was telling the guy, I found out what the axle was from, which was ironically a Ford F750, but it was either, he can't remember exactly, it was either a 2004 or 2005. But it has the new style hubs on it, these hubs, which logically aren't the split rim type hubs. But I regress. So I told him that what I was doing with the axle was putting it on, restoring a truck and getting rid of the old axle that had the split rims on it. And he says, "Oh, so you're probably going to need a couple of more rims, right?" And I says, "Yeah, I need more rims." And he says, "Well, I've got them. If you want a couple of them, I'll sell them to you for 20 bucks a piece." And I says, "What? Really? 20 bucks?" And he says, "Yeah." And I says, "Yeah, I'll take them." So here they are, the 2 that I bought from them, and I paid 20 bucks for them. Now, they got a little surface rust on them, but you know, I'll clean them all up and repaint them before I use them. But I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so here is the axle on the trailer as I brought it back, and as you can see, or you might not be able to tell, it's kind of dirty and kind of bound up with straps, but disc brakes, new style hubs for the wheels. But basically the axle is off of a Ford 750. And again, I don't know what model or what year it is. It was either, the guy thought it was either 2004 or 2005. But here it is on the trailer. You have probably seen a better view of, or another view of it in a shop update. But here it is. Now he told me, and as you can see from the condition of the tire, it was in a fire. Now the axle wasn't harmed in any way, but the tires, these two tires were on the axle and they were blown out. You can see that they burned and blew out. This strap that I put around it was actually to kind of hold that tire on, because I didn't have that strap on and the tire was kind of flopping back and forth, and it made people leery of driving next to me. They thought the whole thing was coming off. But I will bring you back. Okay, let me explain to you something. Sometimes I shoot videos and they're not in sequence, and they might happen over a couple of day period. Then when I go to use on videos, they don't really fit or sequence together good into what turns out to be your video. So that's kind of what has happened here. I'm going to do a little reshoot on this rear axle and explain to you about the rear axle in the truck that I had shot previously, but really doesn't fit into this video. So here we go. This rear axle, what I plan on doing with it is taking it, I need to get them rims and tires off of. Again, this is after that we've had that storm. My tool guy didn't show up, so I haven't gotten the socket yet to for the 3/4 inch impact. But when I do get those rims and tires off of it, I'm going to put the axle up on some stands and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to check the disc brakes, I'm going to check the seals, I'm going to check the bearings. And while that is being done, the truck, I am going to leave, while that's being done and until it's finished, I am going to leave the rear axle that's in the truck on the truck so that I can use it as a rolling chassis and move the truck around in the shop or move it out of the shop if I need to get something else in here. One other thing that I'd like to discuss, and it will be discussed in further as build progresses, but and it's related to the rear axle, is the springs. Those springs are gonna make for a terribly hard ride. So what I'm kind of thinking about, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but what I'm kind of thinking about is taking a bunch of leaves out of that springs and putting airbags or air ride suspension on the rear axle. So that's one of the things that I'll be doing, and that's kind of the video about the rear axle. Some of it might have been out of sequence, and it might be like the video footage that I showed you up on the trailer. I stuck that in there because there was some little pieces of information that you might want to know about or that's relevant to it. But that's kind of why I put it in there. Now, as you will notice, there's a difference in the rear of the truck from the last time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some more clips up in here of us, and it's not us, actually my grandson did it, tearing the battery box off of the back and removing that old piece of the tank cowling that used to cover up the rear window of the truck. So I'm going to shoot that or install that now into the video. What he's doing here is disconnecting the battery leads, battery box, and the battery off of the truck. But as long as I've got you at this vantage point looking down at the frame, let's talk about that. What I plan on doing is getting a portable sandblaster, and after I get all of these pieces stripped out of it, going in there and sandblasting that frame out so that all of the rust scale, debris, old paint and everything are off of it. Then I'm going to take a very good look at that frame and see if parts need to be re-strengthened, or there's got to be brackets that need to be built and attached to the frame. There's got to be a cross support member put in there for the gooseneck hitch. There's got to be supports put in for the deck plate, whatever that may be, and if there's going to be any boxes put on it. So those are all issues that have to be addressed as the time comes. But right now he's getting a good start on this. He's getting that batteries removed, those electrical terminal strips removed off of there. And as you'll see at the end of the video, he will have that old tank housing removed also. If anybody was wondering, what I'm doing is trying to schedule that road trip. I'm also in the process of making the deal on that axle, so I was doing that plus trying to edit a video. Okay. Holy shit. Got it? And in this part of the video, he is removing that light and siren combination unit. He also removed that antenna that is over to the right hand side of it. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is taking this light and siren, making sure that it works. We couldn't get it working before, but I think we kind of figured out why. I want to get make sure it works, and then I'm probably gonna list it for sale. Probably there's got to be somebody out there that's looking for a old light siren combination like this for a restoration project of a fire vehicle. So that's kind of what I think I'm going to be doing with it. One of the things I like to talk about is maybe you've seen in some of the videos, like the engine starting video and maybe some previous videos to this. There's like painter's tape taped onto the truck in certain spots. What it is just kind of notes to myself. Like this one is a round LED light for the turn signal. I'm not really sure that I like that light. Not that I don't like it because it's square, it's just kind of out of proportion to the rest of the truck. So if I can try and find a LED light smaller, maybe a round LED light that is a little smaller and serves the same function. Just a note about the broken wire in this spotlight to repair that. Kind of a note about the mirrors, the heated mirrors that I'm going to get. Like notes about the grab handle for this, and to remove the gas filler, which has already been done logically, and then to fill the hole. I'm gonna kind of figure out how I'm gonna fill that hole and insulate the cab afterwards. But anyways, just in case you've seen these and were curious about what they are, that's what it is. Okay, one of the funny little things is I never noticed it until I was editing part of this video, is that there's a dent here, and it was I had never noticed it before because that plate that was left from the cowling of the tank shroud was covering it up, so I never noticed it. It might not be an issue because the sleeper might cover it up to begin with. I'll probably take it out, just even if the sleeper does cover it up, I'll probably take it out. Got to work over in here anyways to fill up this little ding there too. I got to do some work over here to fill that hole up where the fill spout for the gas tank is. But anyways, even though it doesn't appear that I did a lot of work this week, I think a lot got accomplished. And me being able to get that axle and knowing what I've got to work with now, it's a big step forward. So we're going to be going on. It could be at a slow pace depending on what's next. I've got to get that axle apart and see what the condition of the things are. If I need to get brakes, rotors, calipers, seals, bearings, whatever. I've also got to get some tires for those rims. I got to get the rims cleaned up and get some tires for it. I've kind of been checking prices, different makes, models, stuff like that. So we're making progress. I'll bring you back.